In this video, I wanted to cover my strategies from Vod Reviewing for over 2 years, including what types of games to review and set goals for yourself that will lead to results. First up, what is a Vod Review? For those unfamiliar, a Vod Review is watching back your own gameplay, usually a comp game, to better understand yourself as a player and where improvement lies. I'm gonna assume you already have a VOD at this point and didn't have trouble recording the game, but if you guys want a tutorial on that, let me know. For which VODs to review, I recommend to get a 13-7 or closer game to review, due to some games being absolute sweeps in one directions and only games you're practicing your main agents on. Once you have your VOD, give it a day before reviewing it so you can approach it with a fresh mind. I suggest before you play is best to help give you goals for that session. How to find your improvement. Improvement lies in understanding. If you're not lower than gold and you think your issue is crosshair placement, you're not reviewing your game correctly. When watching back your game, I suggest repeatedly asking yourself, number 1, what kind of situation are we in? Is it a retake, spikes down, man advantage, or low HP? Number 2, how did we play off the situation? Playing our own spike, trading our teammate, shift peeking with low HP? Number 3, what were they thinking? Is my teammate ready to do X here? Would the enemy expect me to do X? Would the enemy expect me to re-peek? What would I do in their shoes? Number 4, what plays could I do instead? If ran 100 times, I would win 70 of those times. These questions don't cover everything, but they cover majority. At the end of the video, I'll repeat these questions in an example VOD review to show you what this will look like, so be sure to stick around. How do we set goals? As you review your VOD, you should be scrambling down notes, anything that comes to your mind. Once you're done, you want to transform it into 2 to 3 actionable tasks for each side. Your notes shouldn't be don't over peek or use flash more. Instead, it should be when in man advantage situations, find a teammate to buddy up with, or plan ahead to use flash, most importantly when entering into sight when we can push up into the space. Giving your games more intention by setting these goals is vital for improvement and will make you better than 90% of players who don't go into game with a goal in mind for what they want to practice. I'm also happy to suggest it even helps improve mental by putting your focus more on whether or not you accomplish these goals than whether or not your teammate was toxic or deranked. Now I want to show everyone staring at their screens right now what a VOD review would look like. Here we are. Here's a completely random game from yesterday. I'm gonna go through it and try to answer those 4 questions. First thing, what kind of situation are we in? Pistol. So pistols and low abilities, low damage, everyone has pistols. And people tend to just 5-man rush on pistol. Okay, so what were they thinking? I can look at my teammates here and be like, okay, my KJ was thinking of playing A. My Sova and Astra aren't really thinking of doing much. My Yoru is thinking of playing C. So I'm gonna fill garage. I'm gonna kind of poke around mid. Nothing happens mid. I'm gonna see where noises are on the map. One window. Okay, so how did we play out this situation? I heard one window. Did I decide to just peek out, or was I careful of what else was happening? So if one person's window, what were they thinking here? Maybe they were thinking of hitting mid. Maybe they were trying to do a mid split. Maybe they were just trying to do mid presence and see if anyone peeked. So I approach this very slowly. Trying to see. Quick jiggle, quick jiggle. Oh, KJ turret. Okay, so we broke that turret pretty safely, and we just saw KJ window. So the person who was mid, we just found out was actually a mid lurker. They weren't trying to go mid. We broke their turret, and we found where the KJ was. This is really good info for us. So I determined this was the end of the team. The rest of them are going to go over to A. So I decided to rotate through. But then I kind of realized what my teammates were doing. And I'm like, okay, wait, my teammates actually have all of everything. B, garage, C, I can't hold this all on my own. So I asked my teammate to pick up B. And since I think this hole is, and the attackers are so open, and they might rotate off here, I just go C. Now this was actually a really scary play. I like that I made it. I think it was a really smart play to get in that position. For the question number 4, what plays could I do instead? If ran 100 times, we would win 70 of those times. I can hold a tighter angle here so I can get out more easily. I think some other things I could have done would be to instead have gone more aggressive on this angle, killed one all the way back here, and then after I killed one, I threw my smoke here and then ran back and dashed away from the space. So then I really pushed them out of C-Long and not give them anything to work with. The other thing I could have done is not really taking this super aggressive fight and just called for the team, try to get one. I could have just backed away with this intel, realized, okay, all of them seem to be running C, maybe at least one garage, but this is still really good info for the team. So instead of making this play, I maybe could have just backed up C and played 5v4 retake with my team, maybe try to get an aggressive one, and then dashed out all the way back on site. And then we have a 5v3 retake, which would be really, really solid. Okay, so now we're in a 5v3 situation, right? How do we play off this situation? If it's 5v3, you just want to play trades. You're up by 2 people, you just want to play trades. Usually the best thing to do. So me peeking there is bad. I shouldn't peek there. It was greedy. They were grabbing orb. I was trying to do some lucky spam through the smoke, but I'm giving a lot of risk up of throwing away the odds of this round. I can't break that. Okay, so I kill 1. I pop dash, I go for 2. This is also something I think is just greedy. Continuing to go for 2, but I dash popped, so at least I approached the situation. It's maybe like not like 70 out of 100, but it's pretty close to it, I would say. Now I'm kind of waiting for teammates to flood here. And then once everyone's here, this round's basically over. So the only thing I could have done better here, I think, is play more patiently and around my team. Instead of peeking when 2 of my teammates are like still back in garage, I instead wait for them to come here. And then I start to peek and look for those fights, like the first one on the breach here. Because we see when I do kill him, our Yoru and Astra are looking away. Our Silva's all the way back site. So it seems like no one's ready to fight here. And that's something you kind of want to realize before you take a fight, is whether or not your teammates are there for you. So that's what I noticed here. Let's hop into notes and see what we can do with this. Okay, so we're Jet on Haven. And what we notice from round 1, I wouldn't suggest doing round by round. Because round by round, it's not really important. What's important is the notes. You can take, so when you take your notes, you can do like round 1 over peaked without teammates. And this can be like your general notes. You need to play around numbers. And that could be like our round 1 notes. But your end notes should just be these bullet points. And they shouldn't be pertaining to this. You should always have like a summary. When I go into game, I'm not gonna be focused on this because there's gonna be a bunch of other rounds I also have to look at. Okay, so it's always good to do a summary. Yeah, over peaked without teammates, you need to play around numbers. So when up by 2 players, wait until teammates are ready to fight my angles. Okay, so when up by 2 players, wait until teammates are ready to fight my angles. I think this is a pretty straightforward solution. I think this is actionable. I think I can look at this situation, be like, okay, we're up by 2 numbers. So in this situation, I'm now waiting until my teammates are ready to fight my angles before peeking. Maybe we should add that at the end, before peeking further. Okay, perfect. So these are our actual notes. There's something we noticed in round 1. And this is a really good way to start to really analyze your gameplay, see these little improvements. Before watching this, I had no idea I did this. You know, in my head, I know my thought process behind like, I wanted to peek that smoke because I saw someone grab orb. Or like I wanted to fight this breach here because I thought they could have been scaling up. But I didn't think about the situation at all. I just thought dopamine, yum. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Appreciate it. And be sure to join our Discord, discord.gg/slayerkey. We now have a tier 1 subscription available where you can ask me any questions, get access to a guide of 100 different channels full of resources. It's an insane amount of value just for $5. So I definitely consider it. Thank you again for watching and good luck out there. Bye-bye.